LeBron James' season debut offers glimpse into Lakers' offensive potential. It wasn't just their season-high scoring total and shooting efficiency, 59.5%, that stood out against Utah, but also the way they functioned, and how effortless at times their offensive possessions looked. OSANGELES. One of the main topics of discussion surrounding the Lakers during the offseason was how much more potent their offense could be with Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves at the helm. The Lakers showed flashes of offensive brilliance last season after Doncic made his debut for the team in mid-February after being traded from the Dallas Mavericks to Los Angeles earlier in the month. But with Doncic having a summer to get his mind and body right, James coming off a record-extending 21st All-NBA season, Reeves having his first 20-point season, in addition to the team's summer acquisitions and Rui Hachimura coming off a career-best season, there was optimism the Lakers could have an even higher offensive ceiling after having an off-season to work on their chemistry. It took nearly 20% of the season, with James being sidelined for the first 14 games of 2025-26 because of sciatica. But the Lakers offered a glimpse into how potent their offense can be when they're whole when James made his debut in Tuesday's 140-126 home win over the Utah Jazz. "I can fit in with anybody," James said. "I don't even understand why that was a question. I can ride with anybody. So just watching the guys in the first 14 games, I was just putting myself in position while I was watching the games and how I can help the team and how I can be successful to help those guys." It wasn't just the Lakers' scoring total and efficiency, 59.5% shooting, both of which were season highs, that stood out against a defensively inept Jazz team that made scoring easier for them than it would be against most teams. But it was also the way they functioned and how effortless at times their offensive possessions looked. "We have two of the best passers to ever touch a basketball," Reeves said, referring to Doncic and James. "And with them making the right read, I'd say 90% of the time you're going to play advantage basketball. And at that point, the game should be pretty easy." How did James, who had 11 points and 12 assists in the first game of his 23rd NBA season, fit into the Lakers' offense? And what elements did he add that they were lacking during his absence? POSTUP are people or ATs. The Lakers entered Tuesday as one of the league's most efficient teams when playing out of the post, averaging 1.15 points per possession that ended with a direct shot, pass, or turnover out of the area, the league's seventh-best mark. They finished 4.4 possessions per game out of the post, with Doncic, 1.8, Hachimura, 1.5, and starting center DeAndre Ayton, 1.3, leading the way. James, who has averaged at least 2.5 possession-ending post-ups per game in the previous 6 seasons, added additional layers in this area to a Lakers offense that had significantly relied on pick-and-rolls orchestrated by Doncic and Reeves before Tuesday. The Lakers finished at least 7 possessions out of the post against the Jazz, with James leading the way, not counting possessions when Utah fouled or had a 3-second violation, like it did on the opening possession of the second half. With his 6'9", 250-pound frame, James used his unique combination of size, skill, and basketball IQ to back down typically smaller defenders in the post after Utah's defense switched. And James used the area to open scoring opportunities for himself and others. James' final basket came off a post-up against Keon George after Reeves set a rip screen, back screen, for James to get him matched up against the 6'4", 194-pound George in the middle of the paint midway through the third quarter. His first assist to Ayton came after Jazz center Jusuf Nurkic shaded toward James on his post-up against George, with Ayton flashing just below the free throw line so James could assist him on a 15-foot jumper. "Just sharing the court with him, it's special," Doncic said of James. "He sees things that other people can't." Ayton added, "I'm telling everybody that I'm sure with some of these passes that he didn't even see me cutting. And just being in the right place at the right time, he's finding you right away with sharp passes. He's making your life easy." 3 of James' first 4 assists came after post-ups. "We feel really comfortable with both LeBron and Luka in the post," Coach J.J. Redick said. "DA as a flasher to that restricted area is a good outlet for us because he's got such good touch. No, we got a lob to him in the first half when he was in the dunker. But think he brings another dynamic in our post-game is like, we got the primary option, the guy with the ball, we got all our kick-out stuff, but then he brings that third option in that sort of mid-paint area. He does that on his rolls too, in the pocket, whether it's a blitz or whether it's drop coverage. but we're going to post those guys. We like having the ball with them, either in the post or at the elbow. They're good decision makers and they're going to generate good shots for us. Transition play. Tuesday's pace, 106.5 possessions per 48 minutes, was the third fastest game the Lakers have played so far this season. Some of that was because of the pace the Jazz, one of the faster teams in the league, prefers to play. But James' presence made the Lakers, who entered Tuesday 29 in transition possessions per game, 16.8, a more dynamic team in the open court. The Lakers' 18.4% transition frequency against the Jazz was their second highest of the season, according to Cleaning the Glass. Doncic get a head pass to James midway through the third quarter that led to James assisting Reeves on a layup is an example of the Lakers pushing the pace via passing. And James is still one of the more dynamic ball handlers in open space, which he showcased when he drew a shooting foul late in the second quarter or assisted Jake LaRavia on a corner three-pointer in the first.